Hi, my name is Anneleen, and in this video I will be reading Rainbow Valley by Lucy Maud Montgomery. We're back with another reading vlog of the Anne of Green Gables series. We're on to the 7th novel. This is the second to last book, and I am excited to start reading. I, again, don't really know anything about this book other than that it will be focusing on the children of Anne and Gilbert and not as much on Anne and Gilbert themselves. From the looks of it, they have grown up a bit. I'm assuming this is Rilla, so she looks about like maybe 5 or something. I'm not sure. So I'm assuming that we made another little time jump, as happens with most of the books. I think this is going to focus on them and their adventures. Rainbow Valley is one of the places that they hang out a lot and play, so I think we will probably see some shenanigans. I am looking forward to starting reading this. Part of it is because I am very excited to finish this series. Like, I want to have read them all, you know, and I'm so close to it. Also, what I have to say that I really like the colors on this cover. I don't know what my final thoughts are. I will take you along on the journey. I will show you where I'm reading. I will let you know if I come across something worth mentioning. And I hope that you enjoy this video and that it helps you relax. Miss Cornelia is back. I did miss her from the last one. She was a character in it and she appeared a few times, but not much. So I'm happy that she's mentioned straight away. I wanted to give you a little update. I'm on page 200, so that's about 2/3 in, I believe. And I'm enjoying the book so far. I like getting to know all of the kids. It's nice that they have their own things going on. And also there's a little romance growing between Mr. Meredith and Rosemary West, I believe. Mr. Meredith is a widower, and one of his children has now first met his kind of new love interest. He hasn't really done anything, but it's very heavily implied that it'll happen at some point. So it's actually kind of nice to see that one of his children gets along with her. I'm done. I will find a better place to film. I will go back to my usual corner. I just learned that I can use my flashlight to film. So I just finished Rainbow Valley. It is a fine book. I think it's a pretty good installment. It's nothing special though. It's just fine. It's kind of more of the same. I don't really have much to say about this one, I have to be honest. There wasn't a lot of Anne and Gilbert going on, but I knew that from the start that this book would focus more on the next generation, so more, you know, Anne's children. But it wasn't even really focusing on Anne and Gilbert's children, but more on just like other kids, another family and their kids. There were some pretty good characters in there, but I have to admit that I am kind of longing for a little bit more. I think I might be going through an Anne of Green Gables overdose because all of these books are starting to blend together. But then again, I only have one more to go, so I kind of feel like I should just read it now and finish up the series. I think because these are kids, I was a little bit less excited to see what would happen. Obviously, these kids get into trouble all the time, and there's lots of shenanigans. There are some pretty sweet moments as well, but I feel like I enjoy the focus on the adults more in the other books. And I think why I liked Anne's House of Dreams the most is because in that novel we get so much more inside of the characters' heads. And not to say that we don't get to know the characters here, but like these, I assume, are Anne's children, and we don't really get to know them. I feel like we learn a lot more about the Meredith children than we do about the Blythe children. I don't really get why this series wants to kind of forget about the main characters, or the characters that you would think would be the main characters, because this book does not focus on Anne at all, but I knew that. But it also doesn't really focus on her children. It focuses on other children. And while that is fine, I think it's kind of sad that we don't get to know those characters more. And while we did get more characterization in the previous novel, what was it called again? Anne of Ingleside. We don't really get to see any of that in here. And I do realize that Anne of Ingleside got released after this book, but still, we learned all of this stuff about the children, but we don't really see that in this book a lot. We see a lot more of the Meredith children. Jerry doesn't really appear that much. He seems to be just like the oldest, the most level-headed character. Then we have Faith, who is really impulsive, I would say. She gets into a lot of trouble, but she always means well. Una kind of reminds me of myself. She really likes to follow rules, and she doesn't want to do anything wrong, and I'm like that as well. And then we have Carl, who is obsessed with bugs and little creatures, which kind of freaks me out, but you know, you do you. I feel like there isn't a lot to say about this book that I haven't said in my previous vlogs. It's just nice to read. There are some funny stories in there. There is a lot of gossip in this one as well, and I tend to skip over it. I feel a little bit bad about it, but I just tend to skip over it if I feel like, oh, these characters aren't going to be mentioned again. I think I did that a little less at the beginning of the series because I didn't really know yet when characters were important, which is very easy to spot now. Because most of the people that are being gossiped about we don't actually meet. So this is a very short, I would say, video because I just don't have that much to say about it. So I think I should just stop. This is just a nice read. I think I would give it like 3.5 stars out of 5. I have only one book to go in this series called Rilla of Ingleside. I'm sure it'll focus on Rilla, which is going to be strange because in this novel she is 6, so I'm kind of wondering if they do like a time jump or if we will follow her for multiple years. You know, usually I say like I'm excited to read the next one, but this time I'm just kind of like, I need to finish this last one. So I actually might read something else in between just to change things up a bit. If you have read Rainbow Valley, let me know what you think of it, and I will see you next Wednesday. Have a good day. Bye!